Shing Cyclone.
Shing Joker.
Oh my god, that's so gay. I can't do it.
You can't do it, Alex? Okay. So, welcome back to Henshin, homies. This is a special episode. We're doing the Kamen Rider, I guess I assume there's like 6 different Kamen Rider double movies. Or at
I think
least
there's only
2.
like 3. But Kamen Rider Double and Decade Movie Wars 2010. That's the movie we're watching.
Why is it called Movie Wars?
To sound cool. It's
because
just so it
there's a
sounds
bunch
cool.
of Kamen Riders and there's a war, I guess.
I
think it was more or less just to bait and switch people because of Decade's involvement in this, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, so Kamen Rider Double was originally shown, was it an episode of Decade, or was it a movie for Decade?
It was a movie. So there was a movie that they had released prior to Double, being a thing. It was kind of like an, oh shit, who the fuck is this? Cool guy comes in and saves Decade's life, and it was Double. This was in the movie Kamen Rider Decade, All Riders versus Die Shocker War.
So Double showed up in that movie, and then for the finale of Decade, they had it be a Kamen Rider Double movie with Decade attached to close out his story.
Well, actually, Tad and Alaba,
Hello.
this kind of shit happens all the time, where they have crossover movies with the current writer and then the previous writer. They do that shit all the fucking time. And in a situation like, so Double's the current one, right? The one right before him was Decade. So this is Double's movie, but this is also the final bit for Decade. It's his little send-off, right? Before they totally close out his show, like his show for reals.
Well, this is correct, but also an important thing about this movie compared to a lot of the other ones is this is the canon ending for Decade. If you've ever watched Decade, which I have, I don't really recommend it. The show ends on a kind of a cliffhanger, and it straight up tells you, "Hey, watch this movie if you want to see how it ends." So that's a big reason as to why this is a little more important than things like that, which would be like Kiva and Deno, I know, did one. I think that was the start of this whole sort of thing. And after that, it was like it's been kind of just about every other year, or every year they do a big crossover movie, like you said.
So I was a little confused about the canonicalness of these movies. We watched the director's cuts, and it actually started with Double. And I was a little confused about where this fit in the canon story, because the only reason we waited until after episode 16, besides, watching the show before the movie, is that there's that Fang dinosaur, and then some other stuff that's revealed in it. But I don't know, what after what episode does this take place? Because it seems like it's kind of a one-off thing.
Like, it takes place really before any episode. We finally get the story of, the boss, and kind of like what went down and the Fudo incident. So really it takes place beforehand. The only reason we waited until now is because they show off the mid-season upgrade. Yeah,
so we waited until mid-season for the Fang. And you were saying it took place before any of the episodes, but they tell Akiko that the chief is dead, which means, she doesn't know that. As of episode 16 of the show, she doesn't know that yet. And so what I'm wondering is, because there's some important things that happen in this movie. Are they going to, Dragon Ball Super it, where the movie's just normal episodes? Because this was actually, it felt pretty much like 2 episodes. It just felt like one arc. There wasn't really anything that's super duper movie about it,
Well, to be quite honest, I'm not sure. But I mean, they could just walk it back. But they did allude to some of the stuff in this movie a little earlier in the show as well. I wanted to bring that up. One of the things we didn't talk about last time we watched, last episodes we watched, is Clay Doll, when she was on her radio show, she mentioned, "Oh yeah, people are seeing sightings of this spooky skeleton guy. Who knows who he could be?" And then they never bring it up again, and that ties into some shit that we find out later.
Yeah, so the double movie starts. It opens up with a flashback where it's Shoutarou is at the office. I think he was like fixing his tie or something. Yeah, he was fixing his tie and like trying on hats. And then the chief, who just kind of looks like a normal ass dude, like there's nothing really super special about him other than he's like an older guy than Shoutarou or Phillip. Where Shoutarou and Phillip are in their early to mid 20s, he's in like his 30s and almost 40.
He looks dope.
He's got
He
that
wears the
white
hat
hat
well.
and shit. He does. Okay, I don't think this was CGI. He takes the hat and throws it, and it lands perfectly on the hook, and he does it twice. I watched that scene a few times. Like, okay, did they CGI? No, he did it twice. The dude just
What a fucking boss.
It was pretty great. And then after that flashback's over, all the informants were invited for like an office Christmas party, and they wouldn't stop talking about fried chicken.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about that scene, actually.
Okay.
So, Tad, what do you do to celebrate Christmas?
I start drinking at 9 a.m. and then I don't stop.
See, what the Japanese do is they don't give gifts like you, because that was what you were supposed to say, jackass. We're gonna kick you in the fucking face. They like to eat shitloads of fucking chicken. KFC and shit over there have like big ass fucking deals during Christmas time. Someone told me that, and I'm like, that's bullshit. Saw it in an anime like right after, because it was around Christmas time. I'm like, that's bullshit. I saw this movie and I'm like, well shit, maybe they're onto something. It's because that's just what they do.
I didn't know that was a thing. Wow.
It's the Christmas fried chicken.
Yeah. Instead of Rudolph, it's a big ass chicken. With
They still got Santa, they got toys, they got trees and shit. But for whatever reason, when we were giving them that holiday, they just said, "So we get to eat a lot of fried chicken," and they're like, and we're like, "Yes, I guess," and they're like, "Sweet," and then that is how the tradition was formed.
On my Christmases, I do go over to my grandma's, and sometimes she has fried chicken, so I guess so. Maybe I'm half Japanese.
Bros.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So there was another weird thing that stood out to me. The client is this, she's a singer, and her sister Erica died about 2 years ago. And she had like a Christian burial, which I guess isn't that weird, but it got me thinking. I haven't seen like any graveyards, and like I don't know a lot about Japanese burial. Is it burial?
It's burial.
Okay. Putting someone in the ground in like a coffin with like a gravestone and all that, maybe that's just something that's multicultural. I never really thought about it. And I've never seen a Japanese ass dude wearing like a fucking priest outfit.
Well, when it comes to burial and cultures, there are pretty much only two ways to get rid of dead people, Tad. Throw them in a ditch or set them on fire. So when you go between two cultures, it's going to be one of those two, more or less.
Japan tends to have both. They usually the cemeteries are for like foreigners.
According to Wikipedia, it's one of the lower majorities there. It's a 5%, as opposed to Shinto, which is like their own fucking OC religion, and then Buddhism, which is the Asia specialty.
There you go.
So what the fuck is Shinto? I know that's like where you have the temples and shit, but I don't think I just kind of assume that no one is actively practicing Shinto in 2018. Like no one's praying to fox spirits and bringing them like rose petals. I don't know Shinto.
The kind of, sort of, but like not really. It's more or less in a place where it's basically like how religion is now, where everyone's kind of like, they're doing it more out of like custom and ceremony, not so much that they're actually like head over heels believing in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't believe Tanuki are gonna fucking come for their fucking kids or whatever the hell they do with those goddamn big ass ball sacks.
It's more or less just like a cultural custom or shit now. At least from what I've fucking known. Like if you want to know all of this shit, you're better off asking like Michael. He fucking lives over there.
Oh yeah, I bet. He would probably know.
Yeah, I bet he lives there.
I meant like I bet he fucking knew. Like he seems like he knows all that shit like at the back of his hand.
So after the graveyard, and that weird priest, the dopant shows up, and it's just like the Grim Reaper, and he looks a lot like Nito. He has like,
kind of.
He has a cool design. Also, it was like, I couldn't tell where the fuck they were, because they went to a graveyard that was just at the side of like a church. It was a really small one. And then they walked off somewhere, and there was like these big Epcot domes. Where the fuck were they?
That happens a lot in Kamen Riders, where they'll just, like, they'll be in a building, he'll kick the guy off screen, jump off screen, then he's in, like, Pipe Factory number 3.
Right.
For, like, no reason. It just, don't question that. That's gonna happen a lot. The more you question it, the more your brain's gonna start hurting. And the more you question it, the more you realize there's only 6 locations they can film Kamen Riders, so you see the same theater, Pipe Factory, and Gravel
There's that baseball stadium.
And the
baseball
baseball
there's a lot
stadium.
of places.
You see the same 4 locations every fucking show.
Right. I think they expanded recently, though, because there's a lot of places that they, in a lot of the later shows, where you, like, I didn't recognize initially, and then watching Build, I'm like, oh yeah, that's where that was at.
Don't forget, fucking bridge with the small, like, knee-high, the small, like, ankle-high river that's in fucking Kabuto 8 times. That was in that, fun fact, Ted, that in that movie that we watched at Evo, fucking Battle Royale, that scene at the end where she's talking to the teacher at the, like, that river, that fucking river's in Kamen Rider 24/7.
It's in Fies, too,
yeah. They did something cool with Death. So Death shows up, he's got 4 skulls stacked on top of, like, his little stubby body. He's got this little shitty looking rubber scythe that doesn't actually go out that far. It's more like a fucking Native American hatchet, you know, where it's like all, like, it looks really dumb. And they're fighting on, like, a hallway, right? And they block the Death guy's legs because he hasn't transformed into something else yet. But he's supposed to be floating, so you can't see the guy's legs, so they just kind of hide it like that.
Don't worry about it.
He cuts the bottom half of, like, the dude off, and then he turns into the chief, who I guess was a Kamen Rider this whole time, and Shoutarou was just like, yeah, no, I knew that. It's fine. Just never brought it up.
Because... don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Ted.
Him being a Kamen Rider is important, though, because after this movie, from wherever the fucking episodes, like canonically take place after it, they just refer to the chief as a Kamen Rider from, like, here on out. So that's part of the important thing that's in this movie is who he actually was.
That's pretty neat, actually, that he comes back in the show.
Yeah, I really like so Skull's design is really, really, really fucking cool. I actually saw Skull a long, long time ago, back in, like, years ago, before I even started watching it, and I assumed he was the main character of Kamen Rider Double, because he's a detective. He's got the hat. He's probably the main one. And then this Double guy is, like, this green and black guy is probably someone else. Because he looks like the main character.
Well,
he's that
cool.
He shares a lot of similarities with Double, too. On his chest, he's got Double's got those little V things that change depending on his different color. But Skull just has like 3 lines a little bit lower than that are like the rib cage and shit. And he's got that crack in his fedora, which the way he got that crack is really fucking dumb.
And don't worry about it.
He got it way later on by, like, a fireball that hit his hat, so it cracked it.
I hope you like, by the way, when he transforms, because he likes to wear his hat, he takes the hat off, transforms, and then puts it back on. Because otherwise it would have gone underneath the suit.
When he transforms, he also has a lower, on this, like, like 2 scales lower, slower guitar riff than Double has. It's the same type of thing. It's just slower and lower because he's just one dude. He's not 2 anymore. There's also Masquerade showed up in this as well in the flashback.
Mooks.
Yes, Mooks. There's a distinct lack of Mooks in Kamen Rider Double as a whole. There's only been 1 episode with them.
They're gonna show up a shitload. Don't worry.
Good.
Don't you worry your little head.
Good. I'm glad we got that out of the way because, like, literally last episode we were like, oh yeah, no dude, like, it looks like they finally found a way to get, like, fucking putties from Power Rangers in on this, and it's like, okay, cool.
I really like the design of the mooks in this guy because they're just the mafia henchmen with the stupid masks because that's their fucking form.
Right.
Yeah, they just got, like, this, they have, like, nice suits and a silly little mask. it was weird seeing them, because I think, did they reuse the same ones in the Decade half? Because I didn't watch the Decade one. I watched like a little bit and I jumped around, but I've never seen Decade, so I just jumped after the double one to the end because Alba told me that Double doesn't really show up in that at all. There's little bits and pieces, but he's not like, it's not important.
It's nothing you need to worry your pretty little head about.
It's really not. Yeah, I mean, like, and as for the mooks in Decade, their gimmick's actually pretty interesting because they use different mooks and different monsters from different shows constantly. One of the ones they love to use are the rider troops from Fies. They show up way late in that show, and like they're kind of nothing. But the fact I associate them a little more with Decade than I do with Fies now because they show up all the time in that show.
At one point, Shoutarou, I think he just gets his ass whooped. And he's like, oh, I don't want to be a detective anymore. I'm sad now. Yeah. I just watched the movie an hour ago, but I forget why he wanted to stop being a detective.
Wasn't it did he get his ass kicked by his fucking chief? By the chief ghost?
Phillip was sitting there telling him,
that's right.
Oh, hey, no, you know that's not him, right? He's dead? And Shoutarou's like, shut up. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah, because Death turned into Skull and kicked his butt. That's right. Shoutarou goes to lay some flowers down at the Fudo Tower, which apparently is like out in the middle of the bay. I could have sworn that it was like right in the middle of the city from the first episode, because there was other buildings in the background and like helicopters flying around and shit.
Why is he asking all these stupid fucking questions, man?
I'm just trying to understand this not Chicago City, Alex.
He's asking too much. Put him to sleep.
To be honest, I don't know either. I didn't notice that. It might have been.
In the next movie you guys... Sorry to interrupt, but in the next movie you guys watch, you're going to be confused by its location another time then.
Oh,
you didn't like it
so
now.
So they're just moving it around. That's fine.
Yeah.
I guess, no, shit, because there's a certain point where they go and, during the so Shoutarou has a flashback, him and Phillip are at that Fudo Tower, and it goes back, and it's Shoutarou and the Chief. They keep hiding the Chief's face with a bunch of small stuff, and they're sneaking through the pipes that look almost exactly like the ones when Virus kidnapped the client. And, like, they have the same, like, when he climbs over. And Shoutarou, okay. Now, I'm almost 100% certain this was not in the first episode. Was Shoutarou wearing really dorky-ass shorts? Because he was wearing really fucking silly pants in this flashback.
It's unclear.
I don't remember him having it.
Don't worry about it. Stop asking these stupid fucking questions, man.
Fucking, he looks silly. Probably to make him look incompetent compared to the Chief. Really makes you think.
Likely.
Another thing about Skull. His scarf, more parallels between him and Double. So the Chief is out there fighting while Shoutarou is hiding. And he's like doing all these like smooth, cool dance moves while fighting Masquerade and his little mooks. And like...
He's doing like sick flip kicks, yeah. It was really well choreographed.
I'll be honest, it looked kind of lame on someone who's like 40 years old, but at the same time, also really fun. You know, it's literally Kamen Rider.
Well, wait till you see a 70-year-old man do it.
But
what I wanted to say, hold on, one of the things I wanted to say was one of the things I really appreciate about that whole fight scene, though, is that he prefers to not actually transform to fight. He only did it when he absolutely had to and had no other way out. He preferred to do it on his own.
Yeah, he was kicking the shit out of mooks untransformed, which, I mean, that doesn't sound impressive, but usually you don't see that in writer shows.
That's one of the gimmicks I liked about Amazon, is that Amazon would not transform unless he was, like, absolutely pushed to the fucking edge in the last, like, 5 minutes of an episode.
Ah, I see. See, I've never seen Amazon, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Chief reminded me of, like, the first 4 or 5 Kamen Riders, where they were just, like, really strong, like, middle-aged dudes, you know, because they were stunt actors.
Yeah. That will happen with a lot of side writers and movie writers especially, because it means they don't have to show up a whole lot, so they can get these cool badass guys and like have them be more like the classic writer stuff, which there's an audience for, and then not have them be like super young and use them a million times in crossovers from here till like the end of days, which is their plan. That's why you see a lot of younger writers now.
Also, something that's important, Tad, that was a really good observation you made there that may or may not come up in the next movie you watch.
Feel they things they pulled from the chief. He uses he stole the driver or found it. Because, I always forget the blood caterpillar's name. What's her name?
Taboo.
Taboo was telling, like, oh shit, that's the lost driver. And Chief says so the first time I heard Double say, let's count up your sins, it felt kind of weird and out of place. As well as another thing that they say, which I'll mention again, but that's because he says, let's count up your sins, which is right where Double got it. The Chief also has a scarf that's not CGI, which looks a lot better than Double's scarf, because his is CGI, and sometimes it kind of looks really bad and like sticks out from the rest of them because they want to have it like floating in the air and stuff.
Right, to the illusion of wind all the time. Yeah. With his, they don't care. It's like it's actually just a scarf, and it looks dope.
Shoutarou, the Chief told him to sit the fuck still and not move, but Shoutarou just like he peaced out, right? And he goes to find Phillip, and with Phillip in that room, I guess Phillip was like, so we know that Phillip is the littlest brother, or I guess a little brother. There might be another fucking family member in this Sonozaki estate. He's the little brother of Psycho and Wakana and all those. For whatever reason, he's got access to that Gaia library, and I guess he was like helping them develop more Gaia memories.
Well, yes, he was their weapon guy.
Yeah, and they actually explained it in this episode. I was surprised that they did it like with kind of a throwaway line. The Chief kind of says, "Yeah, we're here to rescue this kid who has all of the knowledge in the world crammed in his brain." And it's like, oh, so that's what the Gaia library is. It's literally what we thought. It's literally just all the knowledge in the world is in his brain. We don't know how that happened, but now we know it's not like some sort of weird dopant thing.
In that room, I did notice a few other Gaia memories. There was Star, Mind, Hell. That one had a big, like, middle of the screen presence. I thought it was going to come up again, but it just didn't. I expected, like, him to take that one and, like, do something, and then that was going to come up later as, like, a big thing. Also, there's a sad face emoji one, which is probably kanji, but I'm going to pretend it's not, and it's just a sad smiling face. Or sad smiley face.
I didn't notice that.
You know what I fucking mean.
I get you. Frowny face.
And then there was this weird fucking prop in that room. So Phillip got pushed into this, like, 1940s Twilight Zone sci-fi teleporter.
It looks so fucking bad.
I'm almost certain it's, like, something they pulled from another show.
It looks so out of place.
I can guarantee you the reason why they did that is they're making this movie and they're like, oh shit, right, no, he was in the whack-ass crystal prison in the first episode. Right, gotta get him there. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, they had to take him to the Gaia Tower, so he just goes into a teleporter, because they just have teleporters. It's fine, don't worry about it. We have teleporters, but there's still cars. There is a goddamn shipping yard when you have teleporters. There's literally no reason for you to have shipping yards anymore. This show treats me like a child, okay? And that I can't put these world building together, okay? It's almost like this show is intended for 10-year-olds on Saturday mornings in Japan.
I mean, I just feel like they had to find a way to get him into the crystal. And they're like, all right, okay, well, there's a teleporter. It's fine. He gets shoved in there. Oops. Now the Chief's dead.
Oops.
So this shows us what the Chief's plan, and honestly, he deserved to get shot for being a fucking idiot. so here's the Chief's plan. Aw, man, we failed to save this guy. Damn. All right, Shoutarou, here, hike up your fucking dorky jeans, your fucking jorts. We're gonna walk over to the Gaia Tower and walk in there and try and save Phillip. Oh shit, I got shot. Like, what was your plan? You didn't even transform to, like, grab him and run away real fast. You literally walked in there after they knew that you knew where he was and that you were trying to get him back, and then, oh, wow. You literally dark side filled yourself.
It's true. Also, they had to have a scene where he gets shot and he's not transformed. So, like, I mean, the problem is they had to write... I feel like they did have to write this movie around the intro. And, I mean, I still rather liked it, but yeah, there are some things like that stick out like a sore thumb.
The Crime Syndicate was very nice, by the way. They let him have a whole, like, 4-minute-long dialogue scene after they shot him 3 times.
That happens all the time in every
show.
Media. In everything ever.
I'm not
made.
shitting out, I'm just saying it's goofy. It's goofy.
Oh, no. I 100% agree with you. I say the exact same thing, but it's just one of those things that, like, yeah, this scene has to be here, I guess.
Yeah, but back. Let's go rewind a little bit. Back to that rather silly plan he had of just walking in and right up to the whack-ass Crystal Prison. He had a moment, too, where he got teleported to the Gaia Library, and that's how we find out Philip's name. Phillip didn't have a name before. At least he didn't seem to go by one. And he's like, all right, I'm going to call you Phillip based on Philip Marlowe, my favorite, some guy from my favorite book. He's a cool dude.
He's hard-boiled.
Right. And Philip's like, okay, I guess I'll try to be a cool dude.
That conversation led to another thing. So there was that line at the very first episode where, and I don't know if I'm crazy or if I misread it, like I did that other line in like episode 6, but he says like, do you have the courage to ride with a devil? I could have sworn in the first episode that he said, do you have the courage to ride with the devil? And I thought then, like, that was really fucking weird line, but now I understand it. So what happens when they were speaking in the Gaia Library, the chief was telling Phillip, like, hey, you know, this is actually kind of, bad. You should probably not do this. Why don't you go do something else? And so then Phillip's like, you know what, that was pretty shitty. That, like, I gotta, these are my sins. I should probably atone for this. I did some bad shit by working with these guys. And that's why he says it. And then when Double says it, do you want to ride with the devil? That's because they became the devil when they transformed together. And see, so it all makes sense. The show was written for 10-year-olds in Japan on Saturday mornings.
Bros.
Also, Phillip was a lot more outgoing and direct in this than he was in the start. It was weird. I don't know why it was like that. He was like dragging Shoutarou around and shit.
So, how did you like the new form?
Which new form?
What do you mean?
Thing.
Well, we saw
that was like last episode, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, asshole, how did you like it?
We already said we think Fong's like dope as fuck. Like we actually rather like that as a mid-season upgrade. Although I have a sneaking suspicion that Shoutarou is going to get another side of it, so it can be a true mid-season upgrade. Because it's a little early for big boy upgrades to be happening already.
You know what I think it's going to be? It's going to be Nail. So you can have Tooth and Nail. When you put them together, he fights Tooth and Nail.
Fong and Nail. I could see it.
Fong and Talon. Or I'm sorry, Talon. They got to pronounce it in some really fucking stupid English.
You know you love it.
It's great. So yeah, after all that, like, Phillip and Shoutarou kind of like they're talking for a bit, and Shoudarou's like, you know what? I guess I'll just stop being a lame ass, and we'll figure out what's going on with this case. They leave. They end up confronting the dude who, like, surprise, he's nefarious, and he was the fucking like priest getting people like in on his bullshit anyways. Fucking Double shows up just in time to stop the dude. He has a big speech. Oh, who do you think you are? So they have their line. They can say, oh yeah, we're 2-in-1 badass Kamen Rider. Stay free. Skull shows up again. They managed to kick his ass. And, I mean, like, honestly, this whole bit was pretty neat. Again, I really like whenever they have an opportunity that's so rare to see Phillip and Shoutarou, like, actually together transforming. So seeing that again was like, all right, this is fucking cool. Because they do, like, a little cool back-to-back thing, and their hands almost make, like, a V. Like a V formation. And it's neat.
The way that they found out that it was the priest was the number 19, and they dropped the fucking line 5 days before Christmas, and or 6 days before Christmas, and all I could think of is the Phoenix Wright. The fucking almost Christmas means, it wasn't Christmas. They fucking Phoenix Wrighted their bullshit answer to figure it out at the exact same time Akiko did, so it didn't even really matter.
That's something we actually like glossed over that I feel like we should mention. So she didn't know her dad was dead, but boy howdy does she now, because fucking Phillip says it straight out loud, and she's like, "Oh no, my dad's dead." And earlier they have a moment where it's like, "Oh well," like Phillip's trying to tell her like, "Hey, your dad's dead," and she goes, "Dude, don't tell me that. I already knew, but I wanted to hear Shoutarou say it." And then she like walks away, and it's like, oh, so she did know. She just didn't want to like. She's just not pushing the issue until like he comes clean, because she knows he knows, and that he's keeping it from her.
Another thing Akiko did, she had this little bag when she was trailing the person, and I'm 99% sure it was the same fucking face. It was just like a smiley face, right? Not like the one that's on that Dopant. It was a smiley face that I fucking swear to God was Nick Jr., like the face character that they had on TV. I'm completely 100% positive it was Face. It had the exact same eyes and the same type of smile, and it was fucking me up every time it was on screen.
You're talking about burp, 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 Face, like that one?
Yeah, that Face. Go look, like, Google Face after this, and then look at her stupid bag. I swear to God they're the same. Now, the priest, I didn't understand how the fuck, and I guess it was intentional, how the fuck the death dopant worked. Because he was like, he had all these fucking coffins in, like, his basement that just had people in it. And then he kind of, like, he says, like, oh, they're no longer in Fudo. And then punches Akiko so hard she jumps into the air, like, normally, and then turns at a 45-degree angle and flies into the coffin. That death dopant's very strong to be able to just curve physics.
Don't worry about it. Stop asking these stupid fucking questions.
But she just opened the lid. So there's like 3 fucking people in these coffins. And I guess, does he just have corpses down there and they're just going to ignore that?
Yeah, they're dead, dude.
But they're not dead, because it's revealed later on he's not the death, he's just a dummy, and he just, like, looks like people. And just keeping them in his basement, all these corpses.
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo, dude.
Like I said, the reason why is because he's he mentions he gets to turn in when they die, they're all rich people, so he gets to turn into them and live life as them.
I guess
which
so.
Is super fucked.
I
That's
mean,
his scam.
I can see it, because I knew it was like a death scam, but I guess that makes a lot more sense, because I was like trying to piece together all these different things, but that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, well, he straight up says it too, but like he says it at the very end, so you might have missed it. And like Shoutarou's like, man, this guy's a fucking scumbag. We need to take care of him.
I mean, out of all the dopants so far, this guy is kind of the scummiest. I mean, he had dead bodies in his fucking basement. I can't think of anyone else that was worse than this.
I mean, I kind of think fucking Jaggy was, but the fucking, I don't even remember what his name, Arms? Was it Arms?
Yeah, I mean, Arms was just killing people. He wasn't keeping the bodies.
Yeah, but he also did some sick fucking game with Shoutarou and Akiko. Remember where she had visible blood on the fucking rope? Because he was like, I'm so I get my sick kicks. By the way, Alex, now that we have you here, when you saw that episode, did you think of fucking Jaggy too, or no?
Oh, funny, I was just about to wait for you to be quiet so I can say, he's just Jaggy from Fist of the North Star.
We literally had a discussion about like how you must like we both talked about you during that episode. Like, yeah, no, dude, fucking like he's just Jaggy. I'm sure Alex fucking lost his shit when he saw that.
Yeah, I fucking love Jaggy, dude. He's the dude.
We know.
Shoutarou had a really cool moment in this episode too, where the dummy guy was taunting him with Skull, saying like, "Get out of the way, you know, you who the fuck are you? Get out of here." And Shoutarou just clocks him right in the fucking jaw and bloodies his own knuckles before he transforms. That was really good. Shoutarou, he gets kicked and beat a lot, but then he gets those really cool moments like that. And I had a question about Double. So when Double has heat, when he has Trigger, he has the gun. When he has Metal, he has the pole. Has he done Trigger Metal yet? Because what happens? Because when he has the gun and he switches, the gun disappears. When he switches off of Metal, the pole disappears. Have they done the white and the blue or the metal blue yet? Because what the fuck happens to it then? Does it turn to like a sniper rifle?
Well, no, that's Shoutarou. They're both on Shotarou's side, correct?
Oh, you're right. And they can't mix them like that. Makes sense. I didn't think about that. In the Decade one, there was also Nazis. So that was like the end of the Double one. He chased after the dude when he turned into a fucking tire and ran away.
Turned into a fucking Hot Wheels mobile. Fucking.
I had a feeling you were gonna like that scene. Oh, that's it! Whoosh! And he just fucking goes.
Like, you can transform into anything, and the fastest thing you can think of is a tire. Not like the truck or like a bird, but a tire. This dude's a fucking dickhead.
Right. And he had to see it to get the idea. So it's like, oh, by Jove, I've got it! And he just zooms. So that leads into our next movie, or our next part, rather. The Decade section of this.
Oh boy.
So, alright. This is gonna be massive spoilers, obviously, for Decade, because like I mentioned earlier, this part of the movie is literally Decade's ending. So if for whatever reason you want to watch Decade, be like me and suffer like I did, watch every show pre-Decade to get to Decade, to get to this movie, there's gonna be spoilers, so I would skip past this part. How are we doing this?
I guess there's one thing I want to ask about before we actually talk about the ending of it. So, Decade as a concept seems like it has it's the Deadpool of Kamen Rider, where it has like a huge potential to fuck up and be awful. Because it's this dude going back in time and killing previous writers. So how do you write a show to not piss, like if you're a longtime fan, Kamen Rider Black's your favorite one. How do you write it so that Decade doesn't just go through him as a mook in like an episode? How do you treat the other writers with respect but still have them lose? So
I can tell you exactly how they handled it. They handled it about as well as they could, and I'm going to clarify some things. But like I said, this is going to be spoilers on Decade, so if you want to skip this, how are we doing this, Tad? Are we skipping it are we doing like skip to whatever? Or?
The movie is the ending of Decade. If they've watched this far into the episode and they don't want to get spoiled on Decade, that's their fault.
The concept of the show actually really doesn't go in that direction. And the way they respect the writers and make it so that Decade can kind of like be a cool guy and not disrespect those writers is every world he visits is a vastly alternate reality version of that world, to the point where they couldn't get a lot of the main actors back. And what they decided to do is just like, well, fuck it. We're going to go with an entirely new concept of this show. Kuga's an entirely new concept now. It's way different. And so he's traveling to these alternate reality versions of these worlds because he gets rejected in every world he's in. He takes pictures. He loves taking pictures. But the pictures come out all fucked because it's literally the world is like, you're a foreign body. You shouldn't be here. So he's able to traverse the worlds looking for a world he can find home. Like where his world is. He doesn't remember anything. And the actual writer from Kamen Rider Kiva, the show prior, shows up and he's like, hey man, so here's the deal, you're the destroyer. You need to travel to these worlds and kill the rider. Don't ask me what you're going to. It's gonna happen. You're gonna kill them all anyways. Make it easier on yourself and just go to their world and kill them. And Decade's like, nah, I can just go to their world and make friends and solve problems with them. So he goes to each vastly different show world and essentially just kind of acts as a janitor. He kind of shows up and, like, the world's super fucked and things are different, and he kind of aligns everything proper to, like, what the main character should be in that show. It doesn't change a lot of the fucking stupid things in that are, like, way different in the show, but, like, I can see, because they didn't want to run into the problem you mentioned, where it's like, well, how are you going to have, like, Decade show up and not make the other rider look like a fucking joke? Even if he's not killing them or fighting them, how is he going to make them not look like a joke? And the answer is, it's an alternate universe guy. He's a jobber version of your favorite rider, so you don't care.
Okay, so it's less like killing them and more like, let's say there's one where the original Kamen Rider is working for Shocker, and so then he has to, like, put that Kamen Rider back onto the side of good, and then he'll naturally correct it and then kick the shit out of Shocker and be the normal Kamen Rider, right? He's got to fix whatever small things are going wrong.
That's a way extreme example of it, but just about every world he visits, except for Den-O, because Japan fucking loves Den-O, and they were actually able to get all the actors back for that one. It's like these shitty versions of these characters, and experiencing the show kind of sucked because of that. But a big thing is that, like, everywhere he goes, there's this guy spreading the word, like, hey, Decade's the Destroyer. If you see him, fucking kill him. He's gonna destroy everything. Fucking kill him. He's the guy that you saw, if you don't know if you saw in the movie, but he wears, like, the brown hat. His name's Mr. Narataki.
Yeah.
He is the worst. Because Decade is going there and solving problems, and this guy is showing up, and he's like, I've seen the prophecy. Oh, they're putting Kamen Riders in the water to turn the frickin' riders gay. And that's his deal. Things go wrong, and he's like, I bet this is Decade's fault. Which makes things happen later in this movie make, like, no sense.
Yeah, I saw there's a lot of goofy dudes, a lot of goofy guys, because I did skip around a bit. I saw some guys doing Nazi salutes. I saw Decade fuck up a few Kamen Riders and turn them into those, like, e-reader cards that you used to have for your Game Boy Advance that literally no one ever used.
That's his gimmick, is his belt is cards based, and they have the abilities of the other riders. So he's literally just Mega Manning it, right? Where he makes friends with a rider and he's able to use their powers. Or in this case, the movie, killing them and able to use their powers. The show ends on a cliffhanger where he comes to the world that literally the exact same prophecies going down, and they're like, hey, watch this movie to find out what happens. And instead of being a cool guy who's just trying to, like, help and doesn't want to fight the writers, he's just given up. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill everybody because
he doesn't give, like, any reason at all.
He became Sasuke Uchiha.
He says he's the Destroyer, he's gonna stop fighting it. Even though the only guy who's really keeps saying this guy, Mr. Narataki. Right? And we'll fucking get to that fucker in a minute. So, Decade starts off by killing fucking Skyrider, Kabuto, and Super One in a super edgy fashion. Our main girl, Natsumi, is there, like, oh, dude, I wish Decade would come back. And Grandpa's like, he's kind of an asshole, don't worry about it. Another thing that bugged me is, like, okay, sorry if I seem like I'm rambling about this shit, but, like, in the original show, every time they showed the flashback to the prophecy where he's gonna kill everybody, she's in this torn dress. Right? It's like it almost looks like a wedding gown, but, like, all torn and fucked up. They even show it in the very beginning of this movie where they show the scenes from the show. And she just never wears it.
What?
Like, I don't get it. You built up the entire show to this point, and then you just, like, fuck it.
Well, I mean, okay, did he significantly change anything about that end prophecy scenario before it got there. Because I remember people had a lot of the same issues with Adventure Time. Every time there's a future Finn, he had a robot arm. And at one point, Finn lost his arm, but then he, like, grew it back real quick. And a lot of people were, like, mad at it. But I was looking at it from an outside perspective, and I was like, oh, well, if he grew his hand back, doesn't that make him different and significant from the rest of the other Finns? I wonder if it's something like that, maybe? Or if they just, didn't do it.
I think they were just lazy. Because nothing is all that different. He's in a world with the riders, he's killing them. He's collecting their little cards, and he's going around just being an asshole. Yeah, they make him super edgy in this movie in comparison to how he is in the show. Like, he does things like he breaks his camera, because Natsumi comes up, she's like, oh, don't you want to take a picture? She takes a little picture of him, and he's like, I don't need that shit. I've got electrowave human tackle for some reason. This chick's supposed to be dead. And she's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be dead, and also from Kamen Rider Stronger. Why am I hanging out with you? Well,
I wanted to say, if I could interrupt, it was... So I watched this fucking movie, right? I was too lazy to skip, so I just watched both of them. Now... Because I am I think I wasn't eating Doritos, I was eating fucking Lifesaver mints, just horking them in my face, and I'm leaning back in my chair, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like skipping this part, and so I just kept eating. So, here's my opinion of the kid, I've seen this whole movie. You ever watched the intro, little cinematic for Shadow the Hedgehog?
He's not that bad.
That's
but he's pretty edgy.
Opening scene is him killing Skyrider, Super One, and Kabuto. And I didn't watch Kabuto at that point, but now that I've seen Kabuto, I'm like, what an asshole. Because what he does, Taz, is he kills them, right? With like one big like kick. Mm-hmm. And then he grabs the horn from Kabuto's helmet, looks at it, goes like, heh, and like throws it to the side like trash. He's such a douchebag. And then he's treating this girl like shit, going like, I'm fucking Sasuke Uchiha. Oh shit, this Kamen Rider is like 30 feet tall. Let me just, kill him too.
Right. So fucking Kamen Rider J shows up, and I love whenever they do these crossover movie and J shows up, because J is like the dumbest fucking, he's a movie writer. He's from a movie with his own name, and it's like, that was Kamen Rider's attempt to try and cross over to the Ultraman audience, because like, as you can see, his gimmick is he just becomes fucking huge. So they use him in crossover shit all the time, because what other writers are going to do that? Like, none of them, right? So Jay shows up, and it's like, oh shit, how's Decade going to get out of this one? So he fucking gets on the goddamn side basher from Fies, which is one of the villain's fucking weapons, and just fucking kills him. And it's like, that's great.
I'm Decade.
Like, he can do this thing called Final Form Ride, which I can only assume was something that they did with like toys, where they would like re-release Rider toys and like the toy would turn to like a big dumb thing. Because what he does, he just takes the Rider and like he takes Blade and turns him into a big dumb sword to kill Ryuki with. And it's so, like, it happened in the show too. It's so dumb that it's kind of great.
I mean, he is Kamen Rider Blade. I know. Well, now I may not know too much about Kamen Rider, but that sounds like what you would do with him.
His name's Blade because it's like he has like a sword, but like he isn't a sword. He becomes one because of Decay, but anyways, so Grandpa shows up, and there was a scene earlier where Grandpa and Mr. Sonozaki are talking, and for whatever reason, Grandpa and Mr. Narataki are hanging out, and they just become Dr. Shinigami and Colonel Zol, who were villains from Kamen Rider V3. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we're part of this big dick group called Super Shocker. We're gonna fucking take over the world, you're gonna see. And they have their dumb Nazi fucking shocker troops going, eee! Eee! Doing their goddamn Nazi salute. Which, by the way, I'm feeling dumber by the moment. Because in that first episode, I was like, oh yeah, no, Shocker aren't villains. Or aren't fucking Nazis. And it's like, oh. Oh no, they were totally fucking Nazis. I was super wrong. How could LI ever fucking recover? Right, because I've not watched any Showa era stuff. Not really any. I've, like, aside from clips. So now watching Decade, it's like there's an episode where they go to a shocker world, and it's literally people just like regular dudes walking up to each other, and they just do the goddamn Nazi salute to one another. And the way they find out that fucking Decade's there is they're like, "Wait a minute, you didn't do your stupid we're to tell shocker on you."
If I may, there's a really, really, really fun little episode arc, because you know how they do all this two episode shit,
right?
In O's, where O's is in the middle of a plot point, but then it's a special. The 999th and 1000th episode are in the middle of this arc, so that like a guy comes and said, "Wait, everyone, stop doing this. We're having the anniversary today." And they're like, "Wait, what? Like the anniversary, the 1000th episode special? We're not going to skip that up. Fuck this. We're going to do something special." And so they drop the plot in the middle of the fucking like series, and they just have a fun episode where they refilm the first episode of Kamen Rider ever, but with the characters from O's.
That's fun.
That is actually super fucking cool.
But while they're filming, because it's them filming on a set, while they're filming it, a mook from the original show named Mook is there to sabotage everything in the name of Shocker.
Fucking Natsumi as Kamen Rider Kivala is the only one left. And Decade just kind of walks up to her and lets her stab him. Because I guess he's just done with his bullshit. He's like, I guess that's supposed to be his like redeemer moment where he's like, "Yeah, I realized I was a shithead." He gives her the stack of cards and says, "Hey, remember the story of these riders. Because remember them. I feel bad that I killed them, and they were super cool. So here you go." And then he dies. And Shocker starts, like, fucking losing their mind. They're like, "Ah, yeah, so happy. We're fucking take over everything now." And kind of out of nowhere, we cut back to the world of Kiva. And Kiva's like, see? This is great. Now that he's dead, look what's going on. And we see all the shitty alternate reality worlds coming back. And it's like, see, he fought them and he helped them. So now their story lives on for another generation. So now that means
just like Sasuke Uchiha, he did nothing wrong.
Did you know that Sasuke pumped and dumped Sakura and then ran off to go live in the woods?
Right?
That's canon.
So I guess the reason why, because Kiva was the one, like the actual Kiva rider was the one who told him to kill everyone to begin with. I guess the reason why is supposed to be because, like, those shows are all old shows, right? So Decade going around and visiting these worlds of these shows, it's a new spin on those shows, and it's keeping the idea fresh in the minds of the youth, young, toy-buying fucking youth.
Well, the point was they would always get questions, "Hey, how many of these random-ass towns can you make up in Japan, and why do we see the same 4 locations all over the place? What is the canon of how all these writers come together?" And they're like, "Shit, dude, I don't know, alternate universes? Let's have a guy go fucking travel around them, I guess. I don't know, fuck it." And that's how they made Decade.
The more I think of Decade, the more I realize it was really just a massive, like, marketing ploy.
It sounds to me
worked
like
at the time.
The point of Decade was more just have a guy run around and like fight all these alternate universes, and then the story was like, yeah, I guess we could probably try and make this into a thing, but fuck it, it's not that important.
So everyone comes back except for Decade, because he took all these pictures, but he never took a picture of himself. Oh wait, Natsumi totally took a picture. But it's all super exposed though. You can't actually see his face. So every jobber writer thinks back to him and says, like, thank you in this big, dumb, like, panoramic shot, and it's supposed to be really sad music, and then the picture gets more developed, and then regular-ass Decade, not being an edgy piece of shit, just walks through, and he's like, "Hey, I'm back.
I got my legs back."
Right? I guess I don't have a world, but fuck it. I'm just gonna travel. I'm just gonna keep traveling and helping out riders.
So when the fuck do the giant aliens come in? Because I skipped to the end, and I had the exact same reaction of Double, where he like gets on a motorcycle, chases after the guy in the tire, and then comes into this thing, and there's like a fucking Enter the Machine, Echo the Dolphin, alien bullshit all over. He's just like, what? What the fuck? And there's like an alien baby. There was a Power Rangers fucking elephant robot. It had a chainsaw trunk. I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Okay. So I glossed over that, but
why would you gloss over the giant alien robots and elephants? That's way more interesting.
Not important. Stop asking stupid questions.
The movie glosses over the elephant and ship too. The elephant and ship just kind of show up.
You're telling me that there's no fucking reason for a giant CGI ship to show up and fight a bunch of Kamen riders? It just happens.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, the Decade part sounded like it was boring as shit and nothing happened.
Not much happened except for fighting riders. Not much happened except for killing riders, and that's really it.
But then when they were both together, it was actually really fucking cool. Double just kind of shows up as like, hey, Decade, I guess. What the fuck's this?
Hello.
All right, yeah, I'll help you out. Sure, fuck it. Decade does like all these really cool things. Like all these other riders show up. He like swipes a bunch onto his belt, and it keeps saying like "Final Rider, attack!" And
he has the coolest sounding fucking belt noises.
Fucking so him and Double, they get over there and they're getting ready to fight. Like they take down the thing. Double like gets in his Batmobile and jumps on the elephant, turns it into Flame Mammoth, and like tackles shit. It's nonsense. It's absolute fucking nonsense. And he does the fucking coolest thing that made me go like, oh. So Double sits down there with him, and he like takes a card out that has Double on it. Scans it, goes Double final form, and he fucking sticks his hand in and splits Double into two dudes.
Yeah, that was great.
Cyclone, Joker. And then they did the fucking final kick with all three of them. That was fucking rad. Oh my god, dude, it was cool as shit.
Right, and there was all sorts of different riders turning into the stupid, like, the toy things that I was telling you about, because they all do the thing that he normally does, where he says, this may tickle, and, like, turns him into the thing.
It was like a cacophony of fucking noise, too, because every one of them was, like, doing their signature noise.
I was gonna say, the one that always really bugs me is Hibiki's, because the bird, like, even when I was watching Hibiki, I didn't like it. It goes like, whip, whip, wow! And I hate it. But yeah, that scene was dope, because you see, like, the Denliner, and you see all the other people, like, they're fighting the big, dumb alien and, like, you know, fucking Echo the Dolphin thing. It was a lot of fun. And they got, and Deno, again, the only guy they got back to do the proper voice, like, the only actor they got back, because spoilers, Deno's actor is just a popular voice actor, so they can get him back whenever.
So they beat the dude. And I noticed this. I don't know if I commented on it before, but when Double does his kick, he puts his hands back and makes a W. The point of view from the person getting kicked, it's a W. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that.
I guess
he makes a W with his hands because he puts them up, so it goes down up to his head, and I didn't notice it until there was two doubles, and I knew at one point during Kamen Rider Double there was going to be a suit that was like two of the same color. I knew it was going to happen at some point. I thought it might happen with Fang, where he puts two in and like fucking destroys himself or some shit. Like he goes full on fucking Jiren fight with Goku and Vegeta, where he sacrifices himself or something. Oh yeah, I guess spoilers for Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, if he puts on the he just activates the rage cage. Yeah, I get you. So afterwards, they all kind of like basically Shocker's defeated because there's no more generals, and they kill the fucking Neo life form or whatever. Double and Decade have a moment, and Decade actually pulls out a card for Skull that had not been activated and says, "Hey, you should keep this." And they do something that I actually think is really neat, because whenever Decade actually like solves the problem and makes friends with someone in the universe, the card like turns, like activates, right? And as soon as that happens, we see Skull come out, but it's from an alternate universe where he didn't get murked. He comes out from the alternate universe, and it activates, and he kind of looks at Shoutarou and goes, "Hey, I don't know who you are, but you look good in that hat." It's so fucking good.
I love that scene too.
He's like, "Oh, it's great. Thanks, Chief." And Akiko's like, "Dad," and he like leaves.
Yeah, he just didn't give any like. I'm gonna go. There's two possible scenarios there. One, in that universe, he did not have Akiko as a child, or two, he just did not give a fuck about her because he didn't even acknowledge her presence.
It's actually a plot point in the next movie you watch.
Oh shit!
So yeah, important things to take away from this movie. There's only two things that you really needed to take away from this. Phillip is an ass man and Shoutarou is a breast man. Confirmed canon. They said it in the episode.
They did.
Canon.
There was a Thanos after credits scene where they had some guy, and I thought it was like Drive, because I know the Kamen Rider Drive is a thing, so I thought it was like a teaser for the next.
That's way later, dude.
So I didn't know who the fuck this guy with a motorcycle was. Like some guy, some fuckboy in red, who's like, "You're not the only Kamen Rider. Excel." Vroom, vroom, vroom. Just kind of ends like on that. It's not even like citing or anything. It's just some guy with a Gaia memory. Like we haven't seen that 16 times.
Well, it's because there's a new writer in town, and you're going to see. And I said that the next story arc or the one after that, he shows up.
Right.
He's very cool.
Very cool.
Well, that's pretty neat. Then I guess we picked the exact time to watch this, and I guess that means that the movie falls in this exact timeline, like exactly where we stopped and watched it.
I don't know if the seasons match up. I don't know if it's Christmas time in the episode we just watched.
You see, I know. Fun thing is, I actually watched this movie after Axel's already like part of the show, because I was like, "Oh yeah, I should watch this movie at one point." Also, what thing happens is, I don't know if this happened for you yet, but there's a specific character who may or may not get fucking murked soon.
Uh-oh.
And when I saw that character was still in the movie, I'm like, "Oh, that feels kind of weird now."
I hope it's Nazca. Fuck him.
I like Nazca. Yeah, so that was the movie. What was the actual name of this movie again?
Kamen Rider Double and Decade, Movie Wars 2010.
2010, fuck. God, this movie's 8 years old.
Yeah, it is.
Feeling old yet?
Actually, I don't even think this movie was technically feature length. It was only an hour and 20 minutes. It's 90 minutes, I believe, to be a feature length movie. I know this because I watched the actual worst movie I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Delgo?
Fucking like indie film at my local theater about an old man who hates his daughter. They're both psychopaths, and he steals her credit card to buy like a watch, and he's hiding in the shopping aisles trying to like steal ding dongs, and it's 2 hours long, and it felt every fucking second pass, and it was not as bad as this movie. So this movie is better than the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Huh, but so you're saying you didn't like this movie then?
No, I didn't say that at all. I said it was better than the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, okay, good.
Just like this is the worst podcast in my life.
Damn.
Rude.
I mean, I like the double part a lot. The Decade part made me really upset. But
damn, Decade, you gonna be rude like that?
How'd you feel, Alex? Probably the same as everyone else, right?
I really, 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 really like the double part. I really love Skull. I even have a little fucking toy of Skull that my friend got me for, it was either Christmas or my birthday. It was some gift-giving celebration. And Takeda Sasuke Uchiha, I am motivated to never ever watch his show. He looks like an asshole and just not entertaining whatsoever.
It's, like I said, he's not anywhere near as edgy, and he doesn't kill people in the show.
I'm the kid.
Oh, fuck. Yep, so that was the episode. You guys can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play. Links to all the nonsense are in the description there. And we'll be back at some point in the near future with, let's see, it'd be 17 through 20. Yeah, 17 through 20. Yep. So we'll see you guys then. And then next time we do a movie, maybe we'll have Alex on again. Maybe we won't. We'll see.
I'm the kid.